We control the horizontal. We control the vertical. Peer into the infrared.
Geeks, nerds, gamers, and fans, this is Tales from the Infrared. Join us as we dive into fandom and explore comics, gaming, sci-fi, and fantasy, all from a red pill perspective. Hold on to your phasers, it's time for a nerdgasm! Featuring Rachel Edwards, Jim Kelvarn, James Huff, Dean Esme, and Christian Shearson.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Tales from the Infrared. I am your host, Christian Shesso, and joining me, unfortunately, Dean can't be here today, but we still have Jim Kelvarn. How's it going, Jim?
Somebody did some stupid shit over the last couple of weeks, and I think they need to be talked about, is the best way I can put it.
And we will definitely be talking about it. And also joining me is Rachel Edwards, the honey badger herself. How's it going, Rachel?
Well, it's pretty good. I'm ready and raring to go, fueled by pure concentrated rage and caffeine. So here we go!
And running the back room, as always, is James Huff. How's it going, James?
Oh, it's going great today, guys.
And we have a special guest for you guys today, Nephenor of Frawl.
You bastard! I wanted to introduce the damn gray-skinned alien.
How's it going, Nephenor?
I'm here to shed some light on this whole topic, and we're going to probe really deep.
Oh, yes.
We have to go deeper.
We do have a great show. Of course, we're going to be talking
Can
about
you get
Zoe
that
Quinn.
deep, Nephenor?
Oh, yeah. I can go deep.
Well, there's a bit of a change of pace. I'm going to be reading off the topic descriptions. So, rolling right into it. Lies, deceit show up in the video game press. Through the diligent work of several people, we see that there is a lot of dishonesty in the video game press. Zoe Quinn, aka Burgers and Fries, has been shown to have manipulated and slept her way into being called a developer of video games. However, from the evidence, it seems that she was doing this for her own devious purposes. The article linked is from A Voice for Men, but it is a repository of many articles and YouTube videos chronicling how dishonest and self-serving the video game press is. Not that we didn't know this with Anita Sarkeesian's previous misadventures. However, it seems another has stepped up to take on the mantle of video games' most infamous female con artist. Careful, Anita, you might just lose your crown. And this chick puts out. Geek culture is dominant, so why are there so many of its fans still so angry? It has now become rather predictable that when a critic walks out of a superhero film feeling less than enthused, someone will accuse him or her of in some way doing criticism wrong. If the critic in question is a her, the reaction can be particularly furious. Such was the case with Stephanie Zacharex, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, her review of Guardians of the Galaxy for the Village Voice, and the comments took on a tone that prompted film editor Alan Scherstuhl, hoping I'm pronouncing that right, to respond. We're happy to have you here, just as we were when you made similar complaints about our pre-release reviews of Man of Steel and that one movie where Batman cried in a hole for an hour. You were absolutely right about those, of course. Both flicks are undisputed masterpieces, he told the angrier commenters. So please, fire away at us. But maybe do yourself and your fan community the solid of actually responding to Zacharek's arguments, rather than just spewing sexist hate. End quote. Such kerfuffles always make me curious. What defines victory for these sorts of fans? And what does it mean? And what does it mean they want from critics like me or Zacharek? Controversies in geek culture. Erasure of female characters. San Diego Comic-Con is coming to a close, and all that anyone can talk about is the Marvel Cinematic Universe panel from last night. Even fans that didn't get the opportunity to go to the panel got to find out exactly what was going on. Ryan Peganos, the executive editorial director for Marvel, was live tweeting the entire panel. Between him and the other people who were giving updates on the panel, like Ryan Turek and Superhero Report.
Christian?
Like Ryan Turek and Superhero Report, Twitter was ablaze with news from Marvel. Whether it was discussing what new movies were being announced or the cast of a Marvel movie walking on stage, fans everywhere were bombarded with updates. One of the movies that was covered on the panel was Ant-Man. The whole cast was brought out and fans were introduced to new characters and actors. The biggest announcement made at the panel was that Evangeline Lilly was going to be playing Hank Pym's daughter, Hope Van Dyne. But where's Jan? There are some characters that can't exist without another. Pietro and Wanda Maximoff. Way to drop the ball on that one, Bryan Singer. Luke Cage and Danny Rand. Matt Murdock and Foggy Nelson. And most importantly, Janet Van Dyne and Hank Pym. So why isn't Jan in the movie? Probably one of the most infamous moments in comic book history is when Hank gets angry and hits Jan, his wife. Despite how long ago this happened, there's zero excuse for his spousal abuse. This one panel is basically the entire reason that Jan isn't going to be featured in Ant-Man. Marvel's idea of redeeming Hank was to not only ignore the entire issue of him being a wife beater, but also to just completely ignore the idea that Jan even existed. This is what happens when men try to draw a female superhero. It's hard out there for a female superhero. When Wonder Woman finally ended up in a movie, the Hollywood powers that made her look like Xena, cutting out all of her campy fun. And when Spider-Woman gets a rare comic book series, she ends up looking like a porn star. Comic Book Resources released Marvel's art for the highly anticipated first issue of a new Spider-Woman comic series, and it's, well, rather offensive. The official cover art is pretty standard, though. It does seem to throw her bust into the spotlight. And her sidekick Silk seems to be posed too provocatively to be able to take any real action, but at least the plot looks pretty cool. A war is brewing, and every Spider character in the multiverse is a target. But being a target is something Jessica Drew just won't abide. She's a woman with a mission, and with Silk, the newest Spider character on the block, at her side, she'll have to put all her training to the test if she wants to make it out of Spider-Verse alive. But the variant cover created by Milo Manera needs discussing. Spider-Woman looks like she's simply covered in body paint, flashing the city she's ostensibly protecting. And according to the Mary Sue, the pose is nearly identical to one Manera used in an Italian erotic comic book called Click. All in all, the image seems to toe the line of pornographic. Imagine Spider-Man in that position instead, and the concept would have never gotten this far. Marvel declined to comment on the issue to the Mary Sue, but if they want to attract female fans, they should at least have their male superheroes posed like this too. Here's an illustration of the Avengers posed like Scarlett Johansson's character for inspiration. So, what are we discussing first?
You know what? I think as much fun as it'll be to beat up on Zoe Quinn, pun intended, I want to go with the Elle magazine article first.
Oh.
All right, what's on your mind?
Many things. Firstly, if you do a Google search of images on John Romita and Spider-Man, you'll see that exact pose that they're talking about many times. So you know these people don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to find it. I actually had a picture that I think it was Amazing Atheist post where he's got the two covers of Spider-Man in that position and her in that position exactly the same. It's the same damn thing.
Yeah, and I honestly think that them taking issue with Milo Manara doing a variant cover, first off, is pure stupidity in and of itself, but I'll get to that in a minute. It goes back to something I've been saying for a while. Good artwork, good stories sells comic books. And Milo Manara, I've seen his work. I've seen almost all of Click. I've seen all kinds of his work. He does an amazing job on his artwork. And I've seen the picture, and I fail to see how she looks like she's in frickin' body paint. But at the same time, if you really think about it, that kind of costume for any spider character, especially the ones that have wall crawling abilities, and it's even been established in the comic books themselves that they need very thin costumes in order to have their wall crawling abilities. This is disingenuous. This is a problem that they're basically covering up. Oh, we can't have them looking like this. Why? Why? That's my question to all this, is why? Why are we not allowed to have beautiful females, good-looking guys in skimpy outfits? I mean, if we got them both, if we have both males and females in comics, and they're generally an idealized version, why can they not both be idealized versions?
Hypocrisy, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew that, but I'm trying to get
standards.
them to actually. I'm trying to get people to actually think for a second. Just
Well,
go beyond the.
No, they
Just go
always
beyond
argue. They always argue. It's like,
Getting
oh,
social
well,
justice
well, you know,
warriors to think?
Yeah.
I know,
always
it's Mission
sexual
Impossible.
objectification is only bad when men do it to women. Don't you know that, Jim?
No, because I see sexual objectification from both sides. I mean, men
absolutely.
are seen as ATMs. Come on,
Oh no,
and that gets women wet. It doesn't work. It's just a different form of sexual objectification, whether they want to admit it or not. But both sides are fucking guilty.
But the social justice warrior narrative always goes back to the reason why the guys are all muscly and stuff is because this is a male power fantasy.
It is not a male power fantasy.
No,
I'm sorry if you're working out as much as they would have to in order to actually do some of this stuff or come close to doing this stuff. Yes, you're going to end up looking pretty damn buff.
No, actually, I disagree. I think that if that is a male power fantasy, then that means we're hearkening back to the whole men are useful for their strength. And if that's the case, we have to hearken back to how do women fit into that. And in that situation, their beauty is their power. So if we're going to call that a male power fantasy, then anytime we see a beautiful woman, that's a female power fantasy by the same logic.
Exactly, and they don't have problems with female
to an
power
extent,
fantasies. Ever.
Definitely, I'll disagree with that to a slight extent and say women's sexuality is a bit more on the female power fantasy. But that's as far as my disagreement goes.
It's generally
and the beauty plays into. Yeah, I was gonna say the beauty plays into their sexuality.
I mean, it's a part of it, and they'll call it feminist whenever it suits them. Whenever it's that's the thing though. Whenever it's a female power fantasy and there's hot, sexy women kicking ass, that's okay when they feel like it, when it's something they really like.
Except when it's completely out of out of the realm of possibility, in which case they're saying, yes, this is perfectly acceptable, even though it's out of the realm of possibility. And if you really think about it, every single comic book character, every single superhero is almost completely out of the realm of possibility, with the exception of maybe a couple, a very small handful.
Mm.
I'm Batman.
It's just, it really is ridiculous. Oh gosh.
Yeah, he got one of them right. Yeah, we're not going into Batman right now. You missed the 75th anniversary show.
Yeah, that's true. He did miss it. He missed Jim wanting to fill people with his justice.
Yes.
Oh my.
No, but it really is ridiculous how they will argue to the death that certain things are feminist when it's because they like the characters or something, and then they completely ignore all the stuff that completely goes against their ideology. So a woman can just have like a short skirt, like all jacked up and be all sexy and stuff, and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I really like the plot." But do their skirts really have to be that short? You're like, oh. And some people don't even give a shit about that. They'll just go.
I just found the cover, and I just posted it to the chat of Spider-Man in that exact pose.
Yeah, they'll argue to the death that certain things are feminist until there's something that comes up that they just don't like. And then they'll find a way to blame a man. But, yeah. And that's what this is.
Luckily, I'm not a man.
You're an alien. Wait, does that mean you're like a weird hermaphroditic species, Hefnor?
We split through osmosis.
Oh, that's...
Oh, dear God.
That's gotta be fun at
scary
parties.
as hell.
Yes, we absorb ourselves into other beings and then split.
Wow, talk about...
another Nephenor. That's the last thing this universe needs.
Well, there's several thousand of me out there.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, no. Do they probe as deeply as you do, Nephenor?
We are... Well, you know what they say. I be probing, they hating.
Okay, guys, we gotta go. Next topic. Next topic.
This one is kind of easily debunked with Elle magazine. I wonder who writes this shit. They don't actually think.
No, they don't.
Feminists?
Oh, see, that's the thing. I mean, they're like articles like this are written by social justice warriors who are just looking for an in, and they have no interest in the subject matter that they're writing about. Like Megan Friedman, she's the one that wrote this article here at Elle. I guarantee you, she is not a comic book geek, or if she is, she's a geek in passing. She may watch the movies, but that's it. She's an SJW, or at least she comes across to me as an SJW just looking for an in.
I would rather deal with more geeks who are just like hardcore like myself. I mean, people who can sit there and basically give you the history of characters. Those are the ones I will sit there and have conversations with all damn day.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I'm always pissed off when I hear people saying, oh, we need better, stronger women in media of gaming and comics. I'm like, no, we need better written characters. It doesn't matter what their gender is. It matters how well their character is written.
Exactly.
I agree enough. I mean, the problem with it is they don't want to look at how badly written half this stuff is. I mean, if you go back, and I've read some of the old comics, I've picked up reprints or collected editions of old comics, X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman. If you read them, yeah, they're a little campy for nowadays. Maybe it's because I'm older, but still.
Campy is fun.
Back, yeah, sometimes it's fun. But if you go back and you read them, they're well written, and even some of the newer ones, like some of Batman's, like in continuity crossovers, they're very well written, and these are the ones where and very well illustrated, and these are the ones that sell really well. And it seems like A, comic book industry, and B, most most people don't seem to understand that the really well-written stories are the ones that last, and they're the ones that keep coming back. And those characters that are well-written, they're the ones that people want to read. I mean, how hard is it to figure that little bit out?
Well, I think it really boils down to a disconnect between true comic book geeks and SJWs.
Yeah.
SJWs will look at like the top layer, and they seem to have like a checklist. Does it meet this? Does it meet that? Does it meet that? Okay, that's good. But then when the true comic book geeks dismiss the entire comic because it's written very poorly and it's not very interesting, the SJWs turn around and say, well, because it's a female character, you're a misogynist.
Wow.
They don't
I've
look
done the same
deep
thing
enough
too.
into it.
Why is it that the moment that there is a strong woman or a strong character who happens to be a minority, that it automatically is political? Why the fuck is that? I don't understand. Why do they make
No,
it
like
fucking
honestly,
political?
like if there's a black character that's written poorly, I don't care that the character's black. I care that it's written poorly. If
How
a
Man
comic
and
book
Iron
is
Fist?
written well, okay, if a comic book is written well, I will enjoy it. I don't care who the main character is. Woman, man, black, white, as long as it's written properly and it's written well and it's interesting, I'll enjoy it.
I'm
But
going to say it
social
again.
justice warriors don't understand that. They only look at the superficial. They don't look deep enough into it.
The irony is the social justice warriors are guilty of exactly what they're claiming everyone else is. They're claiming
Yep.
everyone else is bigots because, oh, you didn't like this because it's female or man or whatever. And yet they're the ones who are judging everything on that.
Yep. Hey, Nephenor, I think you need to teach them how to probe deeper.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I can do that because their heads are too firmly up their asses and I can never get the probe that far.
Well, yeah, well, maybe we just need to introduce some lube to the situation and just see if that helps to get their head out. Just, a 40-gallon tub of lube, but just,
No, these guys are too far gone. They are completely and totally enamored with their own belief of how things are, and they're not going to change. The only option is to get them out.
So basically, you're saying that at this point, their head and their ass have become one, turning them into like that image of like the fucking snake that's eaten its tail. It's like
Yes, they
only
are
in
the
reverse. Only in reverse. It's like the head is gone up the ass. And
Yes, in this case, these guys are suffering from a severe case of craniorectalitis.
Well, I was going to say, I remember something from, I think it was one of the Hellraiser movies where they actually had a character that's exactly what they look like.
Wow.
Might be something else, but I
Surprised me of the
remember.
Hellraiser movies. But then
Yeah.
again,
Sounds
Guillermo del
amazing.
Toro has a really weird mind.
This is true. So, do you think we beat up this particular topic enough yet?
Well, I mean, we've only really been talking about it for about 15 minutes.
Yes, but
Uh,
big topic, and I do
Next one.
believe. Yeah, I do.
Well, I
believe,
mean, like, yeah, I mean, we could talk about, yeah, okay, and yes, guys, the Zoe Quinn topic is coming. I personally like to save that for
Coming all
last,
over the place,
just
you guys.
because we're going to be talking about that for quite a while. In fact, we might actually just dedicate the second half of the show, the entire second half of the show,
that
just
was
on
actually
the
my
Zoe.
I'm
plan.
down with that.
That was actually my
I'm
plan.
down with the clown.
All right, so yeah, somebody pick another topic.
Well, since the alien is the guest, I'm going to be nice and say, alien, by all means, pick one of the other two topics.
Oh, sure. Put me on the spot like that. Well, honestly, I can't even decide. They're both good.
Well, I picked the last one, so somebody else. I'm being generous tonight.
All right, let's talk about why so many fans are still so angry.
Oh God.
Because the media is full of social justice idiots.
I think that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah,
but-
and that'll tie right into what the second half of the show.
All right, well, in that case, let's do the other one then.
Okay. Yeah. The erasure of female characters. You know,
I hate when they use that word, erasure.
Oh, I have some comments on this one too. So go ahead and do your.
I've actually read the comic where and now it's been a while. It was like early '80s, where he actually hit Janet. And the problem with this is what they're not showing is how he was just basically pretty much out of his mind at the time. I mean, so much shit was going on. And I've seen this happen with other people. You've got so much shit going on, you do something stupid. And if I remember correctly, not too long after that, he actually very much apologized. Ant-Man and Janet Van Dyne went through a whole lot of drama in the comic books for the next couple of years over this. But it did bring attention that sometimes this shit happens. And even superheroes sometimes fuck up. But, I mean, come on. Erasing Janet Van Dyne is proof of them trying to bring some respect back to the character. No, it's part of his history. You can't sit there and put the entire history of a character on the fucking silver screen for an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours and 20 minutes, which is generally what the Marvel movies run, and sit there and expect to get everything in there. Part of the reason why you have the movies is to create the interest for the character and get people interested in what's happened to the character previously and what has brought about this character. So they're not actually erasing they're not actually erasing Janet Van Dyne. They even mention that Hope Van Dyne is his daughter. Obviously, female, had to have been involved in the conception. So do some fucking homework and go find out how this character came about, people. Jesus. Okay, end rant. Somebody else.
Well, I think he's fired up extra special today. Because of all the Zoe Quinn shit.
Oh, it's not just the Zoe thing. It's the whole list, honestly. I mean, Zoe's on there, but, you know my passion for video games and how much I hate people. Okay, I'm getting it off topic. Back to the topic. Erase your female characters.
What I find so interesting about this is that they're complaining about the erasure of female characters, but what about the fact that we've got the erasure of male characters going on now?
Oh, you mean Thor?
This is true.
That's one example. But I mean, for God's sakes, it's okay when they do it to a guy, but it's not okay when they do it to a girl. What the fuck's up with that, too?
Because, come on, now, if you know that...
They're not doing... Here's the thing, though. Technically, they're not
he's still
doing it
there
to the female character. They're not doing it to the female character in Ant-Man. They're not doing it to Jan. They're just not mentioning her.
Oh, by the way, I did hear that the whole Thor thing, that actually it wasn't actually a female version of Thor, it's just a woman who was, I think, apparently, she finds a hammer. Yeah, so...
Comes worthy of the power of Thor.
It doesn't make it any better, it's still fucking stupid.
Yeah, I know. The whole topic still makes me Thor. I mean, never mind.
Hey, great pun there.
It still makes him Thor. Yeah, I laughed a little too much that one.
But no, I mean, like, nobody is erasing anything. Like, Thor, the son of Odin, yeah, he still exists. It's just this female character now has his hammer.
I don't know.
Jan is not being erased.
Wait, so a female stole his power?
Yeah, that kind of caught my attention too with that one.
Oh.
Yeah, I never really thought about it that way, but it makes sense. But I mean, Jan's not being erased either. Jan is just not being mentioned. I mean, she's being omitted. However, Jim had a very good point. Hope Van Dyne is the daughter, so obviously there has to be a mother evolve somewhere, and guess what? The mother is most likely going to be Jan.
Well, no, it's established in the comic books, and I'm going to go back to my previous point. Do some fucking research. Find out how these characters came about, especially if you like them. Bring yourself to the comic book industry and enjoy something new. You might actually find if you enjoy the character on the silver screen, when you get into knowing the character in the comics, you might enjoy it a little bit more, and you might be willing to plunk some money down.
Again, it just goes back to what I said earlier, that these social justice warriors aren't looking deep enough into it. They're just looking at the superficial, and they're making their judgments based on what they see on the surface.
If you look at the surface, you're always going to miss so much. I've seen that so many times in having conversations with people. You know, sometimes, yes, the surface starts. You want to. I hate to say it. You know, there's an old saying, don't judge a book by its cover, but at the same time, sometimes that cover is enough to sit there and say, I don't want to have anything to do with this person. Or with this book. I mean,
sometimes.
Sometimes. I'm not saying always, because I've met completely tatted up gangsters that really great people that are fun to talk to, worth having around. I mean, there's parts of their lives I would never be involved with. That's my personal morals, my personal beliefs. But I'd have no problem talking with them, hanging out with them, as long as those two parts don't cross over. You know?
Well, it seems like nobody has anything else to say on this topic.
Nope. I think we're
really
primed, quivering, and ready.
I'm not sure, like, honestly, I don't know if it's just that we personally, like, we don't have a whole lot to say on these topics, or if we're just so fucking revved to talk about Zoe Quinn that we don't want to talk about anything else.
I think it's a little bit of both. Partially, it's a case of most of the first couple of topics, it has just been pretty much
stuff we've already seen, already done.
And we've probably beaten down like a dead horse about a few dozen times within the last 3 weeks.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with a little sadomnecrobestiality.
Hey, it's interspecies erotica, fucko.
I thought it was Bucko. I thought it was like, it's interspecies erotica, Bucko.
No, he says fucko.
Okay.
All right, well, let's roll into the next topic then, which is why are so many fans in geek culture still so angry? Short answer, social justice warriors are trying to fist fuck politics into a culture that I am a member of. A culture, a subculture that I chose as an escape from all that political bullshit.
Yes. That's a good...
That's short answer.
Yeah.
That's a good part of the short
I didn't
answer.
get into geek culture because I wanted to enjoy the geek culture, although I do. I wanted to get into geek culture because I wanted away from the fucktards that were out there.
Well, it goes deeper than that, Nephenor. As you should know, that is the basic. That is the surface. The more advanced answer, as we go deeper, part of it is the fact that they're fucking shit up. They're fucking up the characters we've grown to know and love over years and decades.
And they're not using
they're making everything so fucking shallow. Again, like I said earlier, they only look at the superficial. So, like, a lot of, like, I'm a gamer. I'm a huge gamer. And a lot of the games that I used to love and enjoy, they had immense depth and breadth to them. They were huge, and there were so much about these games that you could enjoy. But now, it's like all these games that I used to enjoy, new iterations that are coming out are just so fucking shallow and thin, and there's nothing to them.
And there's very little to enjoy. And the thing with it, and that's always been my biggest issue with what I've been seeing, and it kind of parallels the sequel theory in movies. They try to boil it down to the essentials when in reality the essentials are good story, in games good gameplay, in comics good artwork, in movies good acting. But it all comes down to a good story and good support for that story. Without those, you're putting out crap.
Yeah, and social justice warriors are trying to boil geek culture down to the superficial.
Yeah.
To what is
not just
important.
that, they're trying to co-opt it, and that's the worst part. They're trying to use it for a message, and it's not about a message, it's about entertainment. Entertainment entertains. Messages
it's about an
teach.
escape.
Exactly.
It's an escape from reality. It's not a stage, or it's not a platform for you to fist fuck the politics of reality into the faces of those who engage in that culture.
And I think a large portion, and it shows a large portion of society, that we don't really give a shit about most politics. I mean, sadly, it's the truth. I mean, most people would probably just agree with this little philosophy of go do what the fuck you're gonna do and leave me the hell alone. And I want to hear how it goes deeper from Rachel.
I think it goes deeper than that, because this narrative has become, where do I even fucking begin? They've gone and said, okay, we're part of this culture and everything, and they're pushing, even themselves are pushing the idea that this culture is toxic, that what's wrong with it is us, that we're all of these terrible fucking things, and they don't get behind us at all, ever, and they keep pushing the idea that gamers are, and everybody in geek culture, I mean, it seems to be the convenient scapegoat. Every time shit comes up, it's like, oh my god, it's the misogyny, it's all this other shit, it's like, it's somehow geeky guys are more likely to be sexual predators and all this other crap. They don't back anybody up. And
I'm wondering why. I'm just on that statement alone, I'm wondering why people haven't sat there and just said, fuck you. Because honestly, if this is something I've learned from having a ton of friends over the years, if you have friends and they're not willing to back you when you need some help, are they really that good of friends? And these social justice warriors, they're not willing to back anybody. Are they really worth a damn if they're not backing anybody who isn't following along to their tune?
Here's a prime example of why fans are so angry with social justice warriors and their attempted co-option of geek culture. Anybody here remember Anita Sarkeesian's video in which she shows video that she or her boyfriend recorded of Hitman?
Yeah. Oh, I remember it well.
Okay. Where she showed a clip of somebody who was playing, and I honestly think it's either her or her boyfriend that were playing. But they were dragging the strippers around in a circle before putting them into the
bin.
The chest, the bin, or the chest.
The chest.
Now, here's the thing. Social justice warriors who watch that video will see that, and without looking into it further, they'll nod and agree and say, that's a problem. Oh my god, I can't believe the developer put this in the game. But anybody who's actually played the game will tell you, anybody who's actually played the fucking game will tell you that not only do you get penalized for doing that, for harming the civilians who are not your target, they will tell you that the whole point of the game is to be stealthy and to avoid doing that. Most gamers who played the game will have walked past the two strippers and the guard who are in that dressing room.
Well, even Thunderfoot.
That's a prime example. That's why we're still so angry, because we've played the game and we know that what she is saying is bullshit.
Yeah, but even Thunderfoot proved what she said was bullshit because he went and he looked at like 60 Let's Play videos, and I think only one actually killed the strippers. Almost
No,
Yeah.
it was
all of
only
them.
hers
Yeah.
killed the strippers.
Yeah, it was only
here's the thing.
hers. It goes deeper than all that, though. Okay, when we look at these people, these
A lot
social
of more
justice
deeper
warriors.
going on.
Okay, well, who are the ones who are speaking on this? The journalists, everything. The people who are reporting on this. They're the ones who are protecting people like Anita Sarkeesian, these social justice warriors. They're protecting each other. They aren't letting it get out common facts like the Hitman thing. They are protecting these people and from criticism. It's fucking ridiculous, and it needs to stop.
I'm sorry. You know what? They're allowed to criticize everybody else. Guess what? You're going to be criticized as well. If you can't handle it, please step out of society and go make your own and see how well that does. But you're fucking everybody else's lives over, and people are sick of it.
Yeah, actually, the funny thing is, I remember, if any of you ever seen the scene from the movie Network, where he's talking about the whole thing, and he just goes on this little rant. Somebody did their own version of that on 4chan for gaming industry. And I'd like to actually take a second to read it here, and I'll try and do it just like he did it in the movie here. It's like, I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. All the good video game talent are out of work or scared or losing their job. For every dollar and nickel's worth goes to actual game developers. Mods delete threads for no reason. Social justice warriors run wild in the street. And then there's nobody seems to know what to do. There's no end to it. We all know games are unfit to play and gaming magazines are unfit to read. We sit watching your YouTubes while Kotaku tells us that we had 15 triggers and 64 rape claims as if we're supposed to care. Everything has gone crazy. It's bad. It's worse than bad. The world is going crazy, so we don't play games anymore. We sit on V and the world is getting smaller, and we say, please, at least let us have our alone time on my containment board. Let me have my Katawa Shoji and threads and my console wars and my Japan time. I won't say anything, just leave me alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I won't tell you what to do. I won't tell you to petition Patreon to take down her account. I wouldn't know how to do that. I won't tell you to run in the streets and burn the latest copy of PC Gamer. I won't tell you to riot, to stop buying games, to topple buildings that the gaming journalists work in. I don't know what to do about the social justice warriors and the nepotism and the lazy game development and the I know is, first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a rational consumer, goddammit. My page...
I think we lost Nephenor. He cut out.
Yep, I think Nephenor cut out.
His pure concentrated rage
overcame
his system.
Well, I think his pure concentrated rage destroyed his computer.
Yeah. Well, you know. Well, yeah. The rest of your thing, dude. Read.
Where did it leave off?
I don't fucking know. Somewhere in the midst of I want you to get angry. That's sort of somewhere in there.
I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. Is that where I stopped?
That's about right.
Yeah.
Okay. I won't tell you what to do. I won't tell you to petition Patreon to take down her account. I wouldn't know how to do that. I won't tell you to run in the street and burn the latest copy of PC Gamer. I won't tell you to riot, to stop buying games, to topple buildings these gaming journalists work in. I don't know what to do about the social justice warriors and the nepotism and the lazy games development and the AAA blockbusters that are absolute trash year after year. But what I do know is that first you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a rational consumer, goddammit. My patronage has value.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, well, see, it's something I've been saying for quite some time. The consumer has the power, and as consumers, we need to stop paying for the crap.
Exactly. And that's why we're angry. We're not angry because of bullshit out there. We're angry because they're putting out bullshit and they're expecting us to swallow it.
Yes. Don't.
And there's a hashtag.
Don't coat the bullshit candy and expect us to smile about it.
There's a hashtag
Yeah.
that we started on Twitter with the help of Nephenor and Rachel, call hashtag boycott corrupt VG media. I urge you, if you have a Twitter account, start tweeting to the hashtag boycott corrupt VG media. Start doing it. I've started tweeting out names of YouTubers and other game reviewers that I find incredibly honest as alternatives to the likes of Kotaku and Destructoid and Rock Paper Shotgun and all of the corrupt, nepotistic, incestuous cesspool of a video game media that we have in the mainstream. Start tweeting if you know of anybody who is doing honest reviews of video games, tweet them out and tag them in your tweet to boycott corrupt VG media. Get the word out there. Start like this. This is the beginning of a revolution. We're taking the gaming community back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now here's the quote. Here's the original quote. I put it up in the AVFM chat room. It's "Don't coat this bullshit in sugar and call it candy." It's from Burn Notice, character of Michael Weston, and that's exactly what they do. Is they coat a bunch of bullshit in sugar and tell us, "Oh, this is candy. Enjoy it. Have fun." It's bullshit.
Yeah, it really is fucking terrible. This is bigger than Zoe Quinn, and right now everybody in the media is making this about slut shaming. They're saying, "Oh my gosh, look at all these fucking misogynists trying to pick on a poor girl who was just exercising her sexuality." And I'm like, no, fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you! You're sweeping all of this shit under the rug. You're sweeping the nepotism under the rug. It's almost like fucking journalistic integrity means nothing to these people, and they have to frame it this way. The narrative has to be
because they all have a narrative. They all have a goal, and they're all fucking friends. They all know each other, and they all have this agenda that they're trying to push, and it's a social justice agenda.
Yeah,
and more than that.
Yeah. I would agree. And what I was trying to say earlier, I think, in a thread under the recent Internet Aristocrat video, is that they cannot hold anybody in this accountable. If they do, they will suffer. You can't hold Zoe Quinn accountable because then you look like a misogynist or a sexist to the fucking SJWs, and because they are...
It's become a house of cards.
Yeah, because
hold anyone accountable. You pull any one of them out and hold them accountable, the entire tower tumbles.
Exactly.
In a way, but there's more to it than just that.
It goes deeper than that, Nefanor?
What it is right now, they're putting Zoe Quinn out in the front and saying she's the one that everyone's talking about. So they're saying, oh no, it's trying to turn it into the whole misogyny thing. So they're trying to deflect that because they know if we take her out and we actually start talking about what the real problem is, it becomes their problem. They're using her as a shield to protect themselves from their own journalistic lack of integrity.
They're like, oh, look at this poor, defenseless indie developer being attacked by 4chan and social media. Oh my gosh, you should be outraged. And it's a load of fucking horseshit. They have to do this misdirection. They have to do this misdirection because then they don't have to hold anybody in these positions of power accountable. Ever. And it's fucking stupid. I never thought that I would ever have to utter these words. Gaming should be about gaming. It should not be about anything else. All this other fucking political shit, it shouldn't be about that. It's about whether or not you like to play games, whether or not you're fucking good at games, and that's it. All this other shit it doesn't need to be here. The fact it even needs to be said, it's bafflingly fucking... okay, go take this away from me.
No, it's what you just said is perfect. It's well said. Gaming should be about gaming.
It's indescribably stupid. How the fuck should I have to be the one to ever have to utter those words? Like, and then there are people who are saying, "Oh my God, why shouldn't it be about social justice? What's the problem in making it about social justice?"
Oh dear God!
Fuck you in the neck.
Where do I fucking start?
Yes, I'll start. This is not about social justice. Besides the fact that it's about your agenda, people, you damn social justice warriors, it's about getting away from the drudgery of real life, the drudgery of trying to survive on a day-to-day basis most of the time. If you have so much time on your hands that you can sit there and say, oh, we have a problem with this, and then all you're gonna do is just get pissy, write articles, and try and inject your opinion onto other people, which I have a huge problem with in and of itself. The problem isn't us that are just trying to get through our lives and just have some enjoyment in it. The problem is these assholes, these asshats who just really can't understand that other people have their own lives and want to live them their way.
Yeah. They always have to sit there and project things. They always have to make it about more than it actually is. It's just about trying to have a good time, or if you're a competitive gamer, being competitive. If you're a social gamer,
enjoy being. It's still having a good time being competitive.
Exactly.
That's part of that's part of
stuff. All this other stuff doesn't even need to be here. It's like these people have forgotten what it was like the first time they picked up, a game and played, and the joy, the sort of, the happiness that you get the first time. You're like,
Richard, something.
It isn't.
They
it
have
isn't
never
the right
done
kind
that.
of
They've
joy.
never experienced that. They don't know the joy because they're not part of it. They're outside trying to come in and turn it into what they want, and that's the problem. They don't care about video games because they care about their agenda. That's all they care about. It's the same kind of shit that you get when you get to talk about girl gamers. They're not there because they're gamers. They're there because they're girls. They don't care about the games. They only care about projecting the fact that they're girls. And that's what pisses me off about this whole thing. It's a matter of them projecting their shit in front of everything else that matters in the context.
Yeah, I remember. Oh gosh.
Hold on. I want James to say what he had to say.
James, go.
It's not. Yeah, it's not the right. It's not the right type of fun for these people.
Then they should get off, go make their own.
Their whole lens is screwed. They look at. Come on, guys, we're dealing with feminists here. They look at masculinity as toxic in and of itself. So naturally, if they see some 10-year-old boy fucking having fun, the same boys that they would like to pick up and throw through double pane windows and shit like that. I'm sure you guys have read the Agent Orange files. If they see a 10-year-old boy having fun killing shit in a video game, oh my god, that is just so patriarchy right there. I don't even, you see what I mean?
It's like, oh my gosh, you're spending money on things other than women? Oh my gosh, you should be out there, buying this girl dinner instead. Don't go and spend your money on things that make you happy. Shit.
Yeah, because a scantily clad woman running around in a video game, that's just a recipe for rape and porn, and you can't very well, and if not rape and if porn, well shit. If the guy's spending all his time at home enjoying his porn, he's not out there spending his time on a woman.
Trying to get laid and buying her drinks and dinner.
Yeah,
I've already done.
It's reducing their value.
Well, I've already done 2 videos on my YouTube channel about this topic. One called "Girl Gamers Are Attention Whores," and the other one called "Gender Politics and Esports." And I've felt like I feel like I've already said my piece in those 2.
Well, we already know what the demographic of female gamers looks like. We know that the majority of the games that women play, and I'm not going to sit there and say that all women play these kinds of games. I'm not going to say that. But I'm going to say is that's what the stats say. The stats say that most of them are orientated in simulation games and social games, things like that. There's this very small portion that are interested in things like first-person shooters or the really high fantasy role-playing games, things like that. There are a very small number who are interested in that because of the differences between men and women and the way that we pursue our interests and what those interests are. It's very different. And that's why you have so many of these social justice female types coming in and saying, oh my gosh, this isn't catered to me. I'm so offended. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. They don't understand.
The level of entitlement to say this isn't catered to me.
Yeah.
That's just pure. That's a level of narcissism that really just it goes beyond anything even I can understand.
I have to say it. They need to check their privilege.
Yeah, you sell things to different demographics. It happens like that in every industry. And, certain things are going to be pitched to women, certain things are going to be pitched to guys. And to sit there and say, I have a problem with this because it's not being pitched to me is incredibly selfish and narcissistic. And that's what this is really coming in. They're saying, oh my gosh, this is how we promote women in gaming. We cater things, we sit there and we redecorate. That's how we cater to women. That's how we get them into these spaces. And you're not. You simply aren't, because the way that women are wired, they're most of the time the brain is they're more focused on social gaming to be around other people and interacting with them in that way. And so you're never going to please them. You're never going to please them. They're never going to just suddenly, you're never going to get women to suddenly change their interest because you change one or two things. It doesn't work that way.
See, here's the thing. I mean, with all these fucking feminist groups who are trying to come into geek culture, they're trying to change geek culture. I say, why not ask the question? Why aren't more women interested in these things as they are? Not as what they should be in your view or what they need to be changed to be, but why aren't more women interested in gaming as gaming is, or interested in comics as comics are, or interested in sci-fi as sci-fi is? Why aren't more women? Now, is it a biological thing? Is it just the way women's brains are wired? They don't have the same interests as men do, or they pursue their interests in different ways, or is it socially constructed? They're raised to not be interested in these things. They're raised to view these things as something that is for unpopular, nerdy boys, or why aren't women interested in these things as they are?
It's biology.
Yeah, I think
it's biology. And I'm sorry to cut you off, but go on.
I was going to say, I think he's got a perfectly valid point, and that should be where we start, is why aren't they interested in this? I mean, I'm all for getting people into the enjoy. Yes, I know this.
And that's the thing, though. I mean, okay, you even want to take a look at Japanese comics, though. There are demographics for everybody, everything. They pitch it to specific demographics, but we don't do that as much in America. We don't do that, and it's very obvious that certain things are pitched to women or to boys or to a mixed demographic. And
that's the thing that I have a problem with is, in Japan, they realize, yes, men are going to like certain things, women are going to like other things. It's okay. It's perfectly acceptable. It's perfectly acceptable. And this is the problem I seem to have quite often with social justice warriors. It's perfectly, and I'm going to say this, and I want any social justice warriors listening to listen closely, because I don't like repeating myself. It is perfectly acceptable for people to like different fucking things. Do you get that?
Absolutely.
It's not acceptable to force people to want to do something they don't want to do. It's not acceptable to force people to like something they don't want to like. Let people do what they enjoy and stop fucking with their lives.
Jim Smash!
Yeah, Jim Smash! And the worst part of this is they're fucking up people who actually are getting into the industry on merit, who happen to be women or minorities and things like that. They're fucking it up because the moment they try to go and do anything, there's gonna be that hesitation there that was created by the fucking social justice warriors coming in with their bullshit. So they're gonna be less hesitant to let in women and minorities because they're gonna feel like the moment that they're involved that it's politically driven. So it's like, what the fuck? Okay, and there was the whole thing with the fine young capitalists, and I'm gonna say they are 100% social justice warriors. And Zoe Quinn attacked them. Okay, she said, I feel that the trans policy is, offensive, and she didn't actually bother to read it. The trans policy, which was being discussed, was they had to have women, trans women who were transitioned, and by transitioned, they meant that their community recognized them as being female, and that was there because they didn't want, men to be able to come in and, and say that they were women and fake it. So that was there to protect the women who were involved. And but as long as you were a trans woman, you could join the contest. It was to get women who had good ideas to get their games developed, and they were going to do all the work and everything, and most of it was going to go to cancer research. Okay, and then 8%, I think, went to the person who had the idea, and then the rest, then there was another portion that would be taken out to pay the artists and things like that for the initial promotion and things like that. And she just caused a fucking hissy fit, her and a bunch of other social justice warriors, and then it fucked it with their contest. And meanwhile, then a whole bunch of people poured money into her game jam or whatever, and which has no...
her personal account.
Yeah, her personal account. There's not a separate account or anything like that. It's her.
And there's no way to separate the funds either.
Yeah.
Her Patreon tips and her Rebel Jam contributions.
There's no start date, there's no location, there's no nothing. Nothing. And people have bought this hook, line, and sinker. And it's the fucking perfect con. Okay? She starts shit, and then she gets money. And this fucking things up for actual people who are...
Rachel. It's only the perfect con because there are so many people willing to ignore the facts.
But
exactly.
here's another thing. Here's another thing that I don't think anybody's mentioned yet. Doesn't this kind of remind you of Sarkeesian and what she did?
No, absolutely. And she knows her. She actually gave her the thumbs up, and at one point she actually promoted Depression Quest. There's a screenshot of that around online, where she was there saying, trying to promote Depression Quest. Go buy her game.
It was go greenlight her on Steam.
Go greenlight her on Steam. That sort of thing. So, and they all live in San Francisco, so it's very likely that they know each other too. So
Here's the thing. I'm gonna call the previous topic as over and done with, and I'm calling in the bonus round.
Ding, 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 ding. Bonus round. What's the bonus round, Jim?
The bonus round comes from our wonderful favorite writer for different feminist and social justice warrior pieces of trash, Amanda Marcotte. Gaming misogyny gets infinite lives. Zoe Quinn, virtual rape, and sexism. I will link that in the chat right now. I've already got people getting pissy about what I said about her, but hey, It's all sarcasm, people. It's all sarcasm. Marcotte's a cunt. Okay. To start off, a lady developer was harassed by her vindictive ex-boyfriend. So some gamers rape other avatars in Grand Theft Auto 5. Is there no game over to sexism in the industry? The chronic problem of misogyny had another flare-up this week with a disturbing harassment campaign organized against indie game developer Zoe Quinn, the mind behind Depression Quest. It's a story that demonstrates, yet again, how serious the problem of misogyny in the gaming world is and how any woman in it can find herself targeted by the howling mobs of woman haters on the internet, often on the thinnest of pretenses. I can't continue on with reading this because honestly,
I'll read it.
Go ahead.
While, as is usual, with these kind of real-time internet harassment situations, there's a lot of dispute about who said what and when. Everyone agrees that this particular story starts with a vindictive ex-boyfriend. Quinn's ex started a blog specifically to humiliate and shame her over their failed relationship, making lengthy accusations of accusations. There's fucking screenshots of everything. She's actually admitted, in those screenshots, in those conversations, that she totally fucking cheated. And
there's a reason for that.
Humiliation.
She's calling it accusations because if she actually admits that it is not an accusation, then she is also admitting that Zoe Quinn raped.
The thinnest of premises. Oh, wait. I can hardly wait for things to continue. Even though the appropriate response to infidelity, it should be is to terminate the relationship and go your separate ways like proper adults, the ex's gamut worked. I want to punch her in the face. As Frusina, I can't pronounce that name, at Vice's motherboard, I read that article, fuck it, explained the harassment campaign includes sharing her personal information, defamatory YouTube videos, and weird phone calls to her parents. That was false as well. There's no proof of that. Quinn herself described the abuse as the proliferation of nude pictures of me. Actually, she posed for porn, okay? And that you can buy. If you go to that website, you can actually buy that porn legally because she had it made. So those nudes are not personal nudes. They're professional shoots that she did, butt-ass naked. Okay, death threats, vandalization, doxing of my trans friends for having the audacity to converse with me publicly. No, she actually was mean to trans people. Harassment of friends and family and my friend's family, in addition to totally unrelated people sending my home address around. You know what? Most of this shit is false. Rape threats, memes about me being a whore. Well, you cheated that much.
If the shoe fits.
If the shoe fits. Nothing wrong with that. Just, let your partner know beforehand that you're going to be acting like it's an open relationship, okay?
Well, someone actually said, I can't remember where I heard it, but someone actually said, you know what, if you want an open relationship, discuss it with your partner.
Exactly.
That's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah,
I know I have friends who have open relationships, and I don't sit there and say anything about them other than the fact that, hey, it's not for me. If it works for you, cool, that's great. It's not for me. You don't fuck with my shit. I don't fuck with your shit. We're cool.
You're going to engage in these kinds of exchanges. Be open and honest about it, and be transparent. Okay, Don't sit there and try and muddy the waters. Be open and honest. Let everybody know how things are, and go forward. Okay. Okay. So pressures to kill myself, slurs of every variety, fucking debates over what my genitals smell like. Sorry. Okay. All pushed by her ex. And actually, no, her ex came forward, at least through the conversation on Reddit, said that he just wanted everybody to understand how much she's lying to everyone and how she's been trying to climb the corporate ladder, or she's trying to gain influence through these relationships with people, even though she wasn't 100% down with it. And he's a massive social justice guy, okay?
Yeah, see, here's the thing, and he even said it himself. He actually had people come and contact him about this stuff. Come and tell him, hey, she did this shit to me. I mean, come on. This is. Oh, I've got to go back to something. Dr. Palmati. Hold on, Rachel. Hold on. I got to go back to something Dr. Paul Montier said. I think it was about the borderline personality. They don't want people to see what they're really like. This stuff, showing what these people are like, shows how fucking horrid they really are as human beings, and yet they don't want people to know. If you don't want people to know you're a horrid fucking human being, don't be a horrid fucking human being.
Yep.
Because in this day and age, everybody has a camera, everybody has a fucking video recorder, and your shit is going to be on YouTube before you can even blink. You don't like it? Don't be a fucking horrid human being. Learn to be a decent human being.
Yeah. And I like how they say he's using 4chan as his own personal army. 4chan is nobody's fucking personal army, and they will tell you that on a regular basis. If you sit there and say, oh, go fuck this person's shit up, they'll be like, not your personal army, motherfucker. Fuck you. We're not interested. People are, 4chan and all these other people are involved because of the massive censorship that started taking place, them trying to sweep all this nepotism, this corruption under the rug like it never happened, and that's why they're involved. And the censorship of social media and all the boards and things like that, they're fucking tired of this. This isn't about Zoe Quinn. This is bigger than Zoe Quinn, and that's what should be the thing that everyone's talking about. Anyway, I'm going to continue.
Well, the thing with it is, Rachel, and I before you continue, yes, it's bigger than Zoe Quinn, but the social justice warriors are, I hate to say it, they're going to throw her under the bus when people start saying, this isn't about you, you stupid cunt.
Yeah.
This is about the crap that you guys are pulling, and she's going to be thrown under the bus. She's going to be in the same level of purgatory as Anita Sarkeesian, because note how she used to put out videos every couple of weeks, back when she was back before her Kickstarter. You check, it's like every couple of months, 2-3 months, she'd have a new video out. Okay, great. Now it's been, 4 videos in 3 years?
Yeah.
What's she doing, lying on a beach in Kauai? What the fuck?
Yes, of course. She was doing that because she's paid for it.
Something relevant to the topic. I just want to give a quick shout out to DXM Scotty for compiling an imager gallery of all the evidence, all the grabs regarding the Zoe Quinn thing. So a big shout out to DXM Scotty. Thank you for pretty much consolidating everything.
Yes, Scotty, we all love you for this. We all love you for this.
Yeah, we do.
Love you a long time.
I've actually seen most of this beforehand, but thank you so much for your work. And I'm going to continue. It doesn't even matter how much of her ex's accusations are true or not, because it's not.
Whoa!
We're not even going to get through this.
No. You know what? I think we're done with the article right there. Because, wait a minute. It doesn't matter how much the accusations are true or not?
No, it doesn't. All that matters is that she's a woman in video games and she has to be protected by all the white knights who want to come to her aid.
No, that right there proves this is total bullshit.
Yeah,
because you know what? Anytime you do stupid shit, you have to stand up for your actions. Her actions were reprehensible on multiple levels. I mean, I'm not even going to go into the cheating. I have a personal problem with that, and that's why I'm going to avoid it. But she created complete conflicts of interest for multiple people that not only ruined her credibility, it ruined the credibility of 5 guys that we know of, 3 of which we know who they are definitively, and it's ruined their reputation as credible sources. I'm sorry. The accusation and whether or not it's true, the first thing we should be looking at is whether or not it's true, because that creates a whole new light as to whether or not this needs to be looked into. Marcotte right there just proves how fucking
she just with that line, Amanda Marcotte just disqualified herself from the discussion.
Exactly. And here's the thing, though. I'm gonna come out and say this. It's not that Zoe Quinn went and fucked all these guys for publicity and to gain power. It's that she even had the ability to do so. There were no checks and balances. There was nobody sitting there and saying, gee, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. It's the culture that's ingrained in this area of the social justice network where they all know each other and everything like that, where nobody sat there and stopped themselves and said, gee, maybe I shouldn't be fucking doing this. Maybe this is wrong. Or maybe I should separate my personal life from my professional life.
Rachel, I'm going to stop you right there. Nephenor, why don't you get in on this?
Go for it.
I know you're ready.
Go for it.
First off, let's start with Amanda Marcotte herself. This is a woman who has blocked me and deleted every single comment I made on one of her articles where I completely dismantled every single argument she had. Everything she said, I personally went through and told her, basically pointed out how it was a complete and total bullshit. Her first response, delete my every single post I made and delete my ability to even comment. So this woman obviously has zero interest in actually trying to promote discussion. She just wants to promote her entire bloody little goddamn stupid argument saying this is how it is and this is why it's wrong. The whole thing is nothing to do with what she said. We know this. We all know that it's all about an integrity issue. And in fact, there's this whole blog in Shitty Webcomics about how this whole, this is what they said. Anyways, this whole Zoe Quinn thing has put a lot of sites on high alert. I brought up this whole thing with coworkers at the site I work at and they dismissed the issue. When I was pressed the issue, the implication quickly turned from a dismissive handwave to a very threatening, talk about this anymore and you will be fired. This is a problem that's going on in the entire industry right now. They are afraid of letting them talk. They don't want them to speak because if they speak, they're going to start talking about the truth. They're going to start talking about how this whole social justice warrior shit is complete and total bullshit and how it's not supposed to be here and it shouldn't be here. And that is exactly why they're trying to defend it. They do not want to talk about it because it destroys them. And if you want to look at one of the big problems, Kotaku is owned by Gawker. And who does Gawker also own?
Giselle.
Exactly. So why would Kotaku ever want to go against Gawker and Gawker's little pet boy? Or girl in this case. It's a total bullshit. They're trying to cover up the truth of the situation because they know damn well they haven't got a leg to stand on. And if they tried to fight it on the actual terms it was, they would lose in a heartbeat. They would be out of money. They would be out of a job. And they would all be sitting there going, what the fuck are our degrees good for now? They're trying to save their asses because they know that if they don't do something now, they're going to lose. And the problem is, the more they try and hide it, the bigger it's going to explode.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing is the more you try to hide something, the more it's going to be brought to the forefront. And in this day and age, it's just going to get worse and worse. You can't hide things as much anymore. You can't make them go away by shredding the evidence. People are going to find a way to have the evidence. Nowadays, you probably have people screen capping just about everything. It's still going to be out there, whether you like it or not.
This whole fucking article is a mess.
Yeah. The funny thing is now, we've got Internet Aristocrat. He's put out 2 videos on this now.
Yeah,
with
I've
lots
seen
of
them both.
information. And the video that we were waiting for, Jordan Owen 42, just came out not long ago.
Oh, really?
And,
just today?
Oh, yes. You guys are going to love this. Him and I'm not sure who this is offhand. Hold on. Where is it? Irani, whoever that is, are creating a documentary called The Sarkeesian Effect. I will post a link to the Patreon about this in the chat. So they are literally doing a documentary about completely this whole bullshit effect of how social justice warriors It says peering into the world of social justice warriors, and it's what is a social justice warrior? Why does this matter? And why does this movie need to be made? And all this. We are going to get a documentary on the bullshit, and they're going to rip it to shreds. I know it.
Oh, it's gonna be marvelous.
Oh.
I would love to get in on this. I would love to be like, oh gosh, if they want to talk to Honey Badgers or anything about this, do contact us.
Time to move into the main thrust.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I hope they talk. I wonder if they would ever talk to. Well, I wonder if they're gonna just talk to people on YouTube, or if they're just gonna, or if they're gonna go around and dig deeper and go around and do.
They're gonna get as deep as they possibly can.
Oh, so are we talking cervical penetration at this point?
Oh, further.
We're talking a complete biopsy here.
Yeah. I think it's time to go into the main thrust.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's talk about lies and deceit in video game press. Who wants to start us off?
Oh Lord.
Stefanor. Because I know you want to.
This whole thing, it's all conflict of interest. We all know it, but they don't want to talk about it. The whole system is corrupt. This is why we are doing this whole thing with Rachel and I and all the others, the boycott corrupt VG media. We want people to see just how disgustingly corrupt this is, and we want new alternatives. I've already been pestering Total Biscuit to see if he'll come up with the Total Biscuit Gaming Network or something like that. Just get his name behind it, because goodness knows he's got enough views to do it. And just try and create a media that is free. There's, as was mentioned, was it Christian, I believe, was posting all the different sites that are free of this shit, and there's all the others. Like, I've seen many others doing that, and that's exactly what we need. We need to promote alternatives. A lot of these stupid sites are held and controlled by big media, and big media doesn't care about games, so they don't care about what's going on in the actual industry of the gaming media. They don't want the gaming media to be anything big, because then it rivals them, and they might go, oh shit, they're actually beating us. So they don't care about corruption. They don't want it to get better. They don't care. For them, it's just a supplementary paycheck for them. And that's the problem. Nobody cares about the gaming media except the people who are consuming it. And in this case, we need to stand up and say, fuck this shit. We're not going to take it anymore. We are going to only accept good quality media.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just heard Twisted Sisters, we're not going to take it right there, Nefanor.
We're not going
to take it.
No, we ain't going to take it.
Yes. I think somebody needs to link that in the AVFM chat. Just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing, okay? Personally, I don't give a shit how many guys she fucked. I don't. Although
care.
I will add an addendum. I do feel bad for her ex-boyfriend, Aaron, because I was in the exact same position as him, where my ex was cheating and lying about it, and she would only admit to it when I uncovered evidence, but then she would continue lying about stuff.
And continue cheating. Yeah.
So I was in the exact same position. I do feel for him. But overall, with, all that's going on, I don't really care how many guys she slept with. What I care about is who the guys are, what position they're in, and what they're doing.
Whoa. You care? Are you wanting the porno there, Christian? Is that it?
No. I care about the conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm a gamer. Because I'm a gamer, I really care about the conflict of interest. Because I've had my suspicion that video game journalists were taking bribes in exchange for good reviews. I've had the suspicion for quite a while. Especially with the big AAA games. I mean, EA Games, Activision, just these gigantic corporations that have a lot of money to throw around for marketing. I've had a suspicion that gaming journalists were taking bribes in exchange for 9 out of 10 gaming scores, review scores.
In a lot of cases, I would agree with you. In some cases, I would say they didn't need to because the games were that good.
Now, with this all coming to light, it's evidence that that actually happens. And if it happens with an indie game developer, such as Zoe Quinn, it must happen when there's a lot of money involved from Activision or EA or 2K. It has to. In my mind, they're linked. So no, I don't care that she's a slut. I don't care that she likes having sex with 5 guys, 10 guys, 20 guys, 100 guys. To
All
me,
the guys.
Her sex life is her business. Okay? What I care
In
about...
some cases, literally.
What I care about is the positions of the guys she's fucking and what they're doing for her in exchange for it. There's an obvious conflict of interest here, and that's the issue.
Okay, Christian,
Yeah.
I've got to add to that. You know, I'm gonna put my thoughts out. I had an ex cheat on me with multiple guys, so that's why I have a problem with cheating, among other things. But
You're not the only one.
yeah, I'm sure a lot of guys have had that happen somewhere along the way. But here's the thing. I could give a fuck if she fucked every guy in the NFL, the NHL, the MLB, the NBA, in the entire fucking world. I don't care. If she was A, doing it when she wasn't harming someone else, I don't care. And B, if she wasn't doing it and it creates the conflict of interest like she did. In these two things, this is where I have a problem with her. You know, I don't care what she does in her personal life so long as it doesn't create something that is a total bullshit, like this conflict of interest. I'm going to stay away from the cheating for now. But this conflict of interest and showing that I will praise her for the fact that her doing it and it coming to light is showing us how fucking gruesome this situation is, how fucking so interconnected everybody is, and how, you know, we need to rethink and relook at how this is currently going on.
Yeah.
But actually, I just saw this article on Gamer Headlines. It just popped up. It's an alternative response to the recent controversy, media abuse and women in gaming. Now, it's got some feminist points, but I like this. To summarize, you have every right to be angry, no matter what side of the fence you're on. Quinn is not the problem. The media blackout is. The journalists are. And that's a very good point. An article on a gaming website that finally gets the fucking point.
I'll have to look at that. James.
Yeah. Look, I've got a problem with this individual because she declares herself a feminist. Right off the bat, she's a social justice warrior and a hypocrite in the extreme. And you have to keep in mind that one of the main tenets of feminism and the same stream of thought that runs through every damn social justice milieu out there is the personal is political. The personal is political. So she's going to take anything pitched at her on a personal level and blow it up into this huge, gigantic indictment of the video game industry and every fucking male gamer out there.
The problem I have with that, James, is that it's not political. She's the one who did the horrid shit.
Well,
and people sitting there saying that this is okay are just Oh God, they're enabling her bad behavior and saying, "Oh, please continue to do this." No, this is not acceptable.
No,
this should never be acceptable.
I'm not saying that it is acceptable. What I am saying is that this is the lens through which people like her operate.
And okay, I'm gonna read the most infuriating excerpt from this entire Amanda Marcotte article, which is, they see women, real women, like Zoe Quinn or Anita Sarkeesian, women who cannot be controlled with a joystick and can't be shut up by hitting an off button, and it clearly makes them furious. But unfortunately, for the online sexist, their harassment, unlike the kind that happens offline, leaves a clear, legible history that anyone can access.
Well, see, that's the thing, is they want the clear, legible history for their enemies. They don't want the clear, legible history for themselves. And sitting there saying that, oh, this is all their fault. They're the ones doing this, when
they're framing this to be about, like, oh my gosh, they're upset because they can't control women. No, it's because these people are fucking vile. They're doing horrible, disgusting things to other people that actually fucking matter. And nobody wants to talk about it. They want to frame it as misogyny and never touch it. Ever. It's fucking messed up. And the thing about it is the reason they can continue to do these things and never be held accountable is because who their friends are. And it shouldn't be that way. If you want to talk about equality, it means accountability. It means you should be able to be as accountable for your actions as a man. And we remember that developer, the co-creator of Cards Against Humanity, who was accused of rape. Yeah, he got fired. Okay, people wrote about all this stuff. I think he stepped down, and he was held accountable for an accusation. But for her, all this stuff, no. Anybody who's sitting there and saying anything is a misogynist, and clearly they're upset that they can't control women. Fuck you.
Well, see, that's the thing, is an accusation is enough to fuck over a man. A woman, you can have, oftentimes you can have fucking damning evidence in the extreme, and
let's not forget that Jonathan McIntosh, the boyfriend of fucking Arnina Sarkeesian, he's written for Polygon, so they all know these fucking people too. Those are the people who are protecting these fucking bitches. Okay, and I'm gonna say bitch because that's all I can say. How can you sit there and sit in the middle of this and continue to hurt other people in this way and then feign innocence? If that isn't being a cold-hearted bitch, I don't know what is.
As one of the jokes I put up on Twitter a long time ago, well, technically it was qualified as a joke, but it's one of the most popular things I've been favored on Twitter for. It was a joke of, how many rape accusations does it take to ruin a man's life? Just one.
Yeah, the sad part about it is that's not a joke. That's the truth. Nefnor, I think you had something else.
Oh, yes. Phil Fish, one of her biggest defenders.
Rip him a new one.
What?
Rip his asshole apart with your fucking probe, Nefnor.
Yes. Okay.
Use the ultra-big probe.
As we all know of Phil Fish is the creator of the game Fez, which got some accolades for being a mediocre sprite-based game, which I still don't understand. He came out tearing people apart, anyone who attacked Zoe. And then, all of a sudden, mysteriously, last night, his site, Polytron, I think it was called, got hacked. And oh my god, there's a big thing about Zoe, and there's a huge dump of files, and oh my god, he's been hacked, and it's a bullshit lie. Everything about that hack is so bullshit. They've been pointing out little holes in this hack. They were talking about it with Monday and Matt and Shu on Head last night live as it was going on, and they're like, excuse me? This is bullshit. First off, they were doing things like capitalizing V. That is bullshit. And then all of a sudden,
you never capitalize them. Anybody who lurks knows that you never capitalize it. Also, you never say it was 4chan. You always say it was something like 9gag, lulsec, or if you're acting all accordingly, or anonymous.
One of the I'm one of the head mods of V. Yeah, bullshit.
And
They don't say that
a
either.
leader of 4chan. You never say that shit. Everybody knows that Anonymous has no fucking leader, and the only one that we sort of recognize is, like, Moot. And even
And
so,
the whole thing about this, though, is immediately after that, Phil Fish deletes his Twitter and puts Fez up for sale. Gee. It's almost like he planned it in the beginning, and he was just doing this to get out of the industry because he knew that nobody wanted to hear what the fucking hell he said.
Everybody's been calling his ass a fucking hack. Let's be fucking real about this. And here's the thing, though. Everybody knows. I mean, I think they said that it was this website was on Cloudflare. The only way you could have gotten in it is if you had I think
trusted things. Yeah, it's a very good encryption. The only way you could do it is if it wasn't a trusted computer, it has to be two separate things. So they would have to have his laptop and his cell phone.
Yeah, you would have had to have those things. So and we know that the night that this all happened, that this all went down, that fucking Zoe Quinn and several other the people involved in this were at a bar, and they were
Except
on
Phil Fish, not Phil Fish.
Yeah,
he wasn't there.
Yeah, he wasn't there. And they were all on 4chan, apparently to watch the fun. And
Even though they were posting, and the screenshot of them watching on 4chan shows that they were posting there.
Yeah, they were. They were fucking posting. And this is a fucking game to these people. They're trying to fake a hack, they're trying to fake all this shit, and all the stuff that they dumped is completely useless. All the stuff that they dumped, from what I understand, is like old documents that nobody gives a shit about, and you don't ever like put all the information on the front page. Not really. You put it on an external source for people to upload, and usually something like Encyclopedia Dramatica real quick, and then they get rid of it real quickly so that nobody.
And the whole thing is, this whole time while this hack was going on, apparently he still had access to his Twitter. What the fuck is up with that?
And so did Zoe Quinn and all these other people involved. Nobody lost any of their regular services or anything like that. Nothing that would actually inconvenience them happened. It's
that doesn't sound like something 4chan would do. I'm sorry.
So they would go in there.
That sounds like somebody who doesn't know what the hell they're doing.
First off, they would probably DDoS a place that they could DDoS effectively. And because it's really easy, and let's be honest, a lot of the people on 4chan are script kiddies, and they're not real hackers. Sorry, guys, but, I know that most of you are using programs, okay? Just, it's a fact.
And the whole thing about Fish leaving, I just have to say this, and this is heartfelt here. Phil Fish, you won't be missed, but don't worry, our aim's getting better.
And here's the deal. Apparently,
there's something to mess with.
Hang on, Jim. Apparently, the Fez IP is up for sale for anybody who wants to take it and create Fez 2.
Yes, all reasonable offers will be entertained.
Don't buy it. Do not buy it. I mean, something tells me that Phil Fish had this planned out right from the beginning, right from his fucking pissing match with what's his name, that British guy. The first time Phil Fish decided that he was going to cancel Fez 2. Don't buy the Fez IP. Don't fucking think about bringing it out. He doesn't want to do Fez 2 himself, and he's just trying to make as much money as he possibly can before he gets out. Don't fucking buy it.
I'd buy that for $1, but I wouldn't buy Fez for that.
Oh god, I'll buy Fez. No, sorry, I fucked that up.
Well, like I said, Fezzes are cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Fez. We found a way to bring Doctor Who into this. Thanks, Jim.
Buy Fez IP and bury it forever.
Yeah. Buy it and then just get rid of it. You're like, no, we're just gonna dig a big hole in the backyard, just shove all the information in there, just cover it up.
Or even better, release it to the public. Let people make their own Phil Fish versions.
Oh gosh.
I gotta mention this. Enemaxander. Hey, fuck! I screwed his name up. He says someone should buy Fez and give it to /V.
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
yes, absolutely. Give it to V. Let them fuck it over. Oh, it would be beautiful. I would play it. I would buy it.
Oh fuck. No, I'm honestly like I only got Fez on my Vita because I'm a PlayStation Plus member and it was free this month.
Like Mundane Matt, I refuse to do that.
I will not pay for it. It is a decent game. I'll give him that. It's a decent game. It's not something fucking spectacular, but it's decent. It's something fun to pick up and play for a couple of minutes while you're waiting for the subway or whatever. But I mean, it's not
the new
a
Angry Birds.
Kind of. It's not something you'll actually sit there and play for hours on end. And
I don't know. I played Angry Birds for hours on end.
Wow, you're fucking
That's
special.
true. That's a fun game, actually.
But no, it's just. But I will not financially support him just because he's such a dick.
Yeah.
He's such a
That's
fucking
right.
moron.
We will not financially support penises.
You are such a dick, Scott. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking about that. You're such a dick, Scott. No, you're a dick. Sorry.
Well, we have 20 minutes left into the show, and let's try and keep this going. Let's try and keep the adrenaline pumping.
Okay, so
What else needs to be
Underfoot
talked about?
commenting.
Okay,
We've got Total Biscuit commenting. We've got Mundane Matt commenting. In fact, he just put up another one. We've got an internet aristocrat double commenting so far, and he's
we've now got Thunderfoot as well on board. And
Yep.
here's the thing. Wait, is the Amazing Atheist on board yet? Because
Yes,
usually
he is. He's talked about it in his Tumblr, but he hasn't actually come out and done a video yet.
Oh, really? That's fucking weak. TJ, if you're fucking out there, stop being such a cunt and make a video.
Well, actually, no. TJ, get the banana out of your ass and make a video.
Yeah, get it out of your ass. Yeah, stop masturbating with crucifixes long enough to go and get off your fat ass and make a video. And then people are gonna be like, Rachel, why don't you make videos? I'm like, fucking
She's too busy doing this and Honey Badger Radio. That's why.
Yeah, I really would like
I'll
to
make the video.
go and make time to make videos, but yeah, it's involved. And that's the thing.
It's exploding. It's exploding.
It's exploding.
It's at this point you can't contain it anymore.
As
no
many people were saying on the second video, the fire rises.
The fire rises, and I tried to get some people to come on this show, and I understand why they didn't come on. I understand why they may not have commented at all, and that's that's fine.
Matt was up late last night. I know that.
Yeah, they're probably really busy, so I'll forgive them. I mean, taking all this time, I mean, it takes a long time to make these videos and to edit them and to then upload and everything. It's a lot more involved than people, want to admit. And to be honest, these things are their bread and butter. So, not gonna fault them for coming on our tiny little show. Our little place where we come to shoot the shit.
Well, I just seen that Mundane Matt has another video up entitled "Dear Internet, Please Stop Intentionally Derailing."
Well, that's been around. That's been around, and he's made videos since then. And he also did that long hangout that was actually going on live when the Phil Fish hack supposedly happened or whatever. And
if you're interested in hearing him talk about that, it's between 2.5 hours to 3 hours. I went back to it.
But it's fucking amazing. At one point they have wait, what was the name of that guy who I forget his name who does the monster voice, the fucking demonic voice?
Oh, the demon guy? I can't remember his name.
The demon guy. I remember him from the Anita Sarkeesian debacle stuff. So, yeah. No, that was
for your entertainment pleasure, everyone. I posted in chat. Somebody did a marvelous parody of the real Slim Shady, and it's with a real Zoe Quinn. Please fess up, and it's an absolutely beautiful song.
Oh,
yeah.
See, I still think I want to do a song, which as a parody of "Hey There Delilah" as "Hey There Anita," something like.
Oh my God.
Hey there, Anita, what'd you do with all the money? That was miles
Things
away.
are looking pretty funny down in California.
No, it's really not very funny. No, it's not. And then go on from there. But it would be fun, I think. But
Yes,
seriously,
actually, I might have to sit down and help you with the words on that. I love writing parodies.
seriously.
Well, the thing. Let's get back on topic. The biggest thing I see is literally that's exactly what it is. Zoe Quinn, Anita Sarkeesian. We've seen this before. We've seen
People from Polygon are also funding this, and a lot of people, a lot of high ups are giving her money on Patreon and funding her, and what people don't seem to understand about all this is that now Zoe Quinn has enough money to continue to live doing absolutely nothing for at least a couple months. Maybe
Anita Sarkeesian, Volume 2.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I'm saying. Is
a challenger appears.
Zoe Quinn used misogyny. It's very effective.
It's super effective.
Yeah.
I mean, can we talk about the fact that all of these people know each other and they're all really, really good friends? Because I mean,
And
it
they're all
just
involved
seems
in
to me,
working with Zoe Quinn.
yeah, it just seems to me that everybody.
Yeah,
I can't say that they're actually friends because honestly, I would not be surprised if they would throw each other to the wolves if it gave them a leg up. That's not a
The thing
friendship.
that I like is what Mundane Matt said. He referred to it as the incestuous nature of the gaming media. And that's exactly what it is. They would fuck each other for a leg up, but they will kill each other if it also means the same thing.
Yes.
And I want to know at what point things shifted from being about games to being about all this fucking drama. Because really it needs to go. It needs to go. It needs to end. Like, as soon as fucking possible. You know.
My game is not a fucking platform for your political agenda. I'm sorry.
No, my game, my comics, my movies, my entertainment, the things that I enjoy, is not a platform for people to sit there and say, hey, this is injustice and we need to work on it. You know what? I don't think these people really know what injustice actually is.
I almost think it might be the shift in the idea of what it means to be a geek or a nerd, and its popularity and the different kinds of people that entered into gaming later on, and how that's expanded with the different kinds of games that have come out. Whereas it used to be like this sort of, oh, you did it for fun, and if you were really into it, it was sort of obscure, and now it's really easily accessible to a lot more people. Maybe it's that. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say that no, we shouldn't have. No, a lot of people shouldn't have access to it. I'm just saying that with that, we bring in a lot of people that want to come in and redecorate.
Yes, but the problem I have with that is often these people are undesirable, and nobody's been calling them out on it.
Yeah,
and they start to gain power. They get a leg up. They start to gain influence. Well, you know what? People like that, we are going to call you out on it. We are going to call you out on it every chance we get.
This is why I personally want Total Biscuit to come out and say something on it. I understand why he doesn't really want any part of it. I understand why he wants to stay neutral. I understand why he doesn't want anything to do with the politics of it all. I understand. But I really want him to come out and say it because of his subscriber count. Because if anybody is going to make any sort of difference and bring the kind of attention to this that we need brought to it, it's Total Biscuit. He is the biggest fucking gaming reviewer on YouTube right now, aside from
Well, he's already said stuff about it.
Yeah.
He already has, but he's pretty much stayed neutral. You know,
so wait, has anybody?
Well, no, he said that he doesn't like the censorship and the suppression, and that's exactly the start of it. That's the beginning of it, of saying, hey, this suppression is wrong. We need to stop it. That's why I wanted him to get involved in creating his own network, because with his backing, we could get it.
Yeah. who else do we know that has spoken out about it? Just like a handful of people, right? But I know who you're not going to hear from about this at all. And that is
and Zoe Quinn.
Well, okay. Well, here's this is something that you guys may or may not know about. I used to at least be interested in the people that were involved with things like Channel Awesome, and anybody who's involved in the larger stuff like Angry Joe, any of those people, they're not going to say anything because those people are in bed with the people of Channel Awesome and they're massive social justice warriors. They completely crucified...
Well, Angry Joe lost a lot of respect from me when he sat there and basically went to bat for Sarkeesian.
Yeah, they completely... Jesus.
They screwed the pooch.
Yeah, okay, they've basically, the people in Channel Awesome have actually come out, and if they say anything that sounds even smells like misogyny, all of the women, all of the people, like Obscurus Lupa, all these other folks, they will come in and crucify them on Twitter, and then they say, well, I'm sorry, but you have to go, and don't let the door, hit you on the way out.
On the way out.
Wait, Angry Joe came out and defended Sarkeesian?
Yeah, I think it was
must
like
have
his...
missed that.
Well, they're all, like I said, they're all massive social justice warriors, especially people like Nostalgia Chick and things like that. So they're not involved in games specifically, but they're all part of this larger group of friends that all hang out together.
Now I have to go and take back a tweet because I actually tagged Angry Joe Show in as one of the honest reviewers in Boycott Corruption.
Yeah, what it was in his top 10 despicable moments in gaming, and they were sitting there. He was sitting there calling people and saying, "Okay, you guys are horrible for doing this shit to Anita," and it's like, really, dude? Have you not seen what she did? And you're saying we're horrible when she was the con artist and she was the one who created the situation, and we're horrible even though she's not stepping up and being honest about any of this? Yeah, Angry
I need
Joe,
to go back
like
and
I
take
said.
that tweet back.
Yeah.
Yep, Joe needs to go.
But yeah, they are this really big. I'm trying to remember his name, but he was I think it was like Dr. Insano or something. Yeah, basically he made a joke that could be considered something like a rape joke, and then they just completely crucified him and kicked him out. This wave of all the women just fucking piled on him and just like, oh my god, it's so misogynistic, and they kicked him out. And he was
That's the thing, is it just goes to show that women have the power. Women have the power in just about every sphere. They're the ones who decide who is and isn't acceptable. And
it was Spoony. Yeah, it was the Spoony one. He actually, I think he did some game things as well. He was involved with reviews and stuff for Channel Awesome for a very long time. And they booted him out after just something he said, making a joke about having sex, I think, with Jesu Otaku, and they just completely booted him out. It was really messy, and then they just kind of like swept it under the rug. But stuff like that happens all the time. And it's the social justice crowd coming in.
It goes back to what somebody in here said. I think it was Nephenor, that they'd fuck each other for a leg up, and they'd kill each other if it meant the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I sadly would love to talk about this a lot more today, but we're getting the wrap-up signal from the back room.
Yeah.
All right.
Wrap
well,
it
I
up like
think
a mummy and shove it out.
I think we'll wrap it up. Anybody have any final thoughts? Any final passing comments before we end the show?
Don't let them get away with this shit. Again, the hashtag is boycott corrupt VG media on Twitter. Make that shit explode on Tumblr, Twitter, anywhere you want. Okay.
They would have got away with it too if it hadn't been for those kids.
Yeah. Don't let them get away with this. Don't let them make this about Zoe Quinn and her sleeping around. Don't let them do that. Hold them to the
people who are telling you it's about Zoe Quinn, and it's not.
Hold them to the fact that this is about a breach of journalistic integrity, and hold them to it.
Wait, they had journalistic integrity?
No, I'm saying a lack of.
Yeah, they never had journalistic integrity. The moment they started taking free shit from developers, they had no journalistic integrity.
Yeah.
Jim, you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to reiterate something I said earlier. Social justice warriors, feminists, stay the fuck out of other people's lives.
Yeah, just learn to let things be.
James, you have any final thoughts?
No, I've said all I've needed to say on the matter.
All right, our special guest, Nephinar, do you have any final thoughts?
Yes, I'd actually like to follow up with what he said there. Tell you what, feminists, we'll stay out of your bodies if you stay out of our video games.
And my final thought is I am going to plug our special guest, Nephinar of Thrall. I just posted a link into the chat to his video, Nephinar's Natterings, A Conflict of Interest. Subscribe to Nephinar on YouTube. And I want to thank everybody. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, James. And thank you, Nephinar. And I want to thank you, the listener.
I've got.
Thank you very much.
I've got to say it. Take the red pill.